This is Ahead in Tech, career journeys of extraordinary people in tech and interviews that help you get ahead in your tech career. Once in a while, you look for a little bit of meaning in your life, a direction in what you're doing, or a way to give back. And that's what today's going to be about. There's this fabulous organization called STEM Learning UK, which you may not have heard of. And if you haven't, you really should. They're they have a great impact in the UK, and they're doing a lot of very good work. And that's where my guest today, Dan Smith, comes in. Dan, good morning. Hello. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, Sanjay. Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm really good. Thank you. It's, fantastic.
Let's just get into it. Tell me about it. What is this place? What does it do?
Yeah, sure thing. So STEM Learning are a not-for-profit organisation based in the UK, and our vision is for every young person in the UK to have a world-leading STEM education. So STEM is an acronym standing for Science, Technology, Engineering and Maths. And as you can imagine, these are really important subjects in terms of not just the UK economy, but in terms of the world, and particularly, at this point, with everything that we've been through, science and technology and engineering and maths, they've all been really, really important in terms of our, the pandemic response. And essentially what we do is we support schools and colleges across the UK with their STEM education in a wide variety of ways. So a few things that we do. So we receive money from the UK government to basically run teacher training, or teacher CPD as it's called, both in science and in computing. Which is obviously where an area I'll focus on a lot more today. And then the part of the organisation that I work in, and where I come in as a project officer, is we run something called the STEM Ambassador Programme, which is a volunteering programme for people who work in STEM industries, or study STEM at university, or maybe even our lecturers in universities in STEM subjects. It's a volunteering program that gives them the opportunity to go into schools and go into community groups and support young people with finding out more about STEM, what's involved in it, how important it is in the world, and how they can access a career path in the future, in STEM. Because it's an area, particularly in the UK as well, where we have a lot of STEM skill shortages, and there's a lot of opportunities there for young people that they don't necessarily know about, or that are not necessarily inspired to go into. In terms of what our volunteers do, it really does range. So they work with primary school children, so really small children, and our volunteers might do, for example, something like a really fun activity where, something might get blown up and they're quite messy, and help to teach them really simple scientific or computing concepts, through to your teenagers, where it's much more focused on what they want to do for their career, what kind of industries are out there in STEM, and how they can put themselves in the best position possible to be able to go and actually access them for their future. So things like interview skills, things like writing a really good CV. These are things that our ambassadors support young people with across the entire UK. And I'm happy to talk a little bit about the numbers as well. Sure. So so there are over 30,000 STEM ambassadors across the entire UK, supporting thousands of schools every single year. And as you can imagine, by being part of STEM Learning, this program has a lot of advantages in terms of us being already supporting teachers as well with our teacher training programs. So there's a lot of advantages that we see there. It's a really fantastic program that has been the early part of my career. And tech is very much a big thing in terms of we have a lot of ambassadors who work in tech, who are software developers, cybersecurity analysts, anything through from kind of graduates who are just starting their career through to CEOs and directors who are actively giving up their time to go and volunteer and help young people to find out more about all the amazing opportunities in tech.
I assume the main difficulty you have is getting enough talented people to volunteer with you. Is that right?
So it really is a mix. It's quite interesting in terms of, our volunteers. There's always we're looking out for more volunteers. The more, the merrier. And there's so much that we're able to offer our volunteers as well in terms of, volunteering training, so that, when they're actually going out and doing volunteering, they've got the skills and the confidence, the capabilities, to really go and deliver some impactful and meaningful interactions with young people. We also do things to support our volunteers in their professional lives as well. So we've been doing things like producing some professional skills seminars, which are aimed at supporting our, it's a little bit of a thank you and a little bit of added value for being part of the program. It's completely free for STEM ambassadors to sign up as well. So there's no charge, there's no cost for schools as well, as it is a volunteering program. But it's essentially, an opportunity for them to develop themselves as well. So yeah, there are some challenges in terms of having enough volunteers for every activity that a teacher comes to us and wants to run in their school. But we've part of my role in terms of what I do is I help to coordinate the STEM ambassador program on a national level. So it is things like making sure that we do have training in place for our volunteers, things like offering them professional skills to help add value to the program. These are things that I help to coordinate, and the things that in terms of our funders. So we're funded by an organisation called UK Research and Innovation, UKRI, and they are things that we've agreed with our funders that we will deliver this year as well. So there are then challenges in short, but we do as much as we can, and it's part of my job to ease them challenges and to make volunteering with us a really positive, rewarding and impactful experience for everybody involved.
You do give us so much back in return, and you take care of so many things, like because in order to go into like schools and talk about careers and stuff, you need to do your police background checks and stuff like that, right? And you sort all that out for people. You make it all very frictionless, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, it's absolutely true that in the UK, there's a thing called a Dds Check, which is a disclosure and barring service check, or in Scotland, it's called a PVG. It's essentially a criminal background check, which, we cover the cost of, and we, help to coordinate that in terms of, being able to give our volunteers that background check in a really, seamless way, so that they are then able to go out and do their volunteering, and it's something that schools obviously are very cautious of in terms of visitors having DBS checks. So we it's an essential part of the program, and we make that there as a way to support everybody involved as well. And
there's a lot of training and support, and there's a huge community surrounding you, isn't there?
That's right. Yeah. So as well as STEM learning and our STEM ambassador community, we have on this national level, this is, but every single area of the country has a STEM ambassador hub, which is their local point of contact who helps to coordinate things really on that ground level. So whether you're a STEM ambassador in London, or whether you're a STEM ambassador in maybe a more rural part of the UK, there is a local point of contact who is organising events, giving you that opportunity to meet your fellow STEM ambassadors, to meet with schools, and to also find out about other opportunities that they can use their volunteering for. One thing that is we're quite lucky with in the UK is that there are a lot of organisations and a lot of STEM related kind of like competitions, STEM related like initiatives that are working in the UK and working with schools, and these are perfect opportunities for our STEM ambassadors to be able to use their volunteering. It's a really nice offer that in most cases that they offer that they have. And that's something that by having our STEM ambassador hubs as our people across the country and on a regional level, being able to connect them to them sorts of opportunities, and again really helping to support a really healthy STEM outreach ecosystem, if you will, in the UK.
Besides all of the selfless things that people do here and all the giving back, there's also a lot people can get out of it. It's a fantastic networking opportunity. It's a great experience that'll teach you a lot, that'll help you in your career, and it's great stuff to put on your CV, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So there's a few things that we do in terms of being able to really recognise our STEM ambassadors. So we have something called the STEM Inspiration Awards, which is our annual award ceremony to recognise STEM ambassadors that have made fantastic contributions. But other things that we also do is we have like a digital badging set up. So if you do 10 hours of volunteering with us, you get a digital badge that rewards you for that, which you can put on LinkedIn. But then also, drilling down into a little bit more, deeper into, that actual piece around skills development. We do have an awful lot of, STEM ambassadors who are really early in their career, who use their STEM ambassador volunteering as a great way to enhance their skills and enhance their CV. Same with university students as well. In fact, it's one thing that we were always told going for university is, to do more than just your degree, do some volunteering, do some extra things on the side. And a lot of university students use it as a way to put things on their CV to say they are a STEM ambassador, they do this type of volunteering. But it's fantastic in terms of like people in tech. It's a great way for them to be able to gain skills in terms of, communicating to non-technical audiences, perhaps, you're communicating to young people, there's a different skill set there. And that's a really transferable skill, just that one alone in terms of communication. But there's other things that our ambassadors, report to us and say that they feel like they've gained, a stronger sense of like personal satisfaction with their work, an increased job satisfaction, and an increased sense of like them, supporting their community as well. So there's skills aspects in terms of being able to communicate to different audiences, and there's a bit of like activity organizing there as well. But then there's also a sense of like a real feel good factor in terms of supporting their kind of confidence with things, but also supporting them feeling like they're really having an impact as well. So there's a lot of feel good factor stuff there as well.
Brilliant. And you are a very, very friendly and approachable organization, and hopefully we've done enough to get a few people interested in getting in touch with you. So how can they get in touch with you? How can they get involved?
Yeah, sure thing. So our website is www.stem.org.uk. If you're interested in becoming a STEM ambassador, and we have a whole load of information there talking a little bit more about the program and what it does and how you can sign up. It's a really simple process for signing up. And it's also worth having a little look around in terms of the other amazing things that STEM Learning do in terms of supporting supporting teachers with CPD as well. If there are employer contacts as well, we're always looking to work with more employers. It's great, it's great to be able to utilize their networks and their abilities to engage communities as well. Our website is www.stem.org.uk. But the other thing I'll say as well, if you are in the UK and you want to have that regional contact, we do also have our page with all of our STEM ambassador hubs, who are your local contacts as well, which you can reach out to and find out more about what they're doing in your local area. A lot of employers will use STEM volunteering as a great way to do like a department day or like a team building exercise. And it's also, fantastic for CSR and being able to build links in your local community. Another thing that employers really find as well is, as well as your CSR piece, it's great in terms of things like I want to say early careers recruitment. So, in the UK, there's graduate programs that employers run. There's also things called apprenticeships, which are for, 16, 17-year-olds or 18-year-olds, or a little bit younger as well, to be fair, who are coming out of school looking to do their first job, and they go into like a trainee kind of thing called an apprenticeship. And what we find is that there are, employers that use STEM ambassador volunteering to really build really strong links with their most local schools, and then they can recruit their apprentices of the future from them schools, because they are really well embedded in their local community. So there's, some really fantastic benefits for everybody involved there in terms of getting young people into STEM, but also for the employers as well in terms of them being able to recruit from the local area and being able to really build their talent for the future.
Yeah, it's a really grassroots approach, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of the most fantastic things to be able to say that you're benefiting everybody in that sense as well. Yeah. So yeah, very, very much grassroots.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Dan. This has been absolutely wonderful and enlightening. I really appreciate your time.
No worries. Thanks very much, Sanjay. And hope that's been really useful. And
it was perfect. But before I let you go, I need a joke of the show.
A neutron walks into a bar and asks the barman, "How much is it for a drink?" And the barman says, "For you, no charge."
Hey.
There we go. Bit of physics.
Wonderfully bad joke. Cheers, Dan. Thanks very much. And that's all, folks. More info, links, and everything else can be found on aheadintech.com. Thank you, and please subscribe.